Hi, everybody, and welcome back on TV 15. Rougher football. BiIl Huddleston, along with the coach of the Roughers, Rafe Watkins. And not the final score you were looking for, Rafe, but certainly another gallant effort by the very young and growing up fast Rougher football team.
Well, they are. You know, it was disappointing. I think early in the year, if you'd have sat there and said with the youth that we had coming in that we were going to play Midwest City 16-14, I think that a lot of people would have jumped at that. But after watching the other night and how our kids are improving, it's, you know, 5 years ago, this would have been a moral victory. I think our program's passed the moral victories we expected to win. And our kids, it showed after the game, they was very disappointed. And where, like I said, 5 years ago, you know, they'd probably been pretty happy coming off there, but we're not. We expect to win every ball game, and hopefully we learn a lot from it. You know, we gave it away, we feel like. We realized that their starting quarterback wasn't playing, and which was a huge, you know, offensive presence for them. But that's part of football. We're going to play games this year without some of our starters, and the good teams overcome it, in which they did. But you know, we had 3 mistakes in our kicking game that really, because we work on it, I feel like, as much as anybody. We spend 30 minutes a day with that, anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes every day with our special teams, and we just had some really unforced errors on ourselves. You know, we dropped the first punt and set up a short field for them, and they go in and score, and then we have the get the safety due to not fielding a punt, and it goes down to the 1 yard line. We get a safety, and then there at the end we get the game winner, and which I put that on us coaches for not recognizing that we had our tight end, and it all happened so fast, obviously. But having our tight end come out in the next play, we're just going out there to kick the field goal, kick it and make it, but we had the flag because we only had 6 men on the line of scrimmage instead of 7. We didn't have our tight end replacement in there on the extra point or field goal in that case, and so it cost us an opportunity to win the game at 17-16. We back up and then get it blocked. So, you know, we feel like as good at things as we did. We had over 240 yards rushing against the top defense supposedly in Class 6A2. So that made me happy because our running game has been non-existent for the last year. You know, last year all we could do is throw, and so I was really proud of the way we was able to run the ball. Our young kids have come along and you know, they really played well the other night. Defensively, we played really well. So other than just a few, you know, costly mistakes, our turnovers were still good, and our penalties were a whole lot better this time. So we're cleaning some things up. They're getting better, and hopefully we can learn from this.
Now, Rafe, you talked about the one penalty on the field goal that eventually was blocked, but then there was a penalty earlier that I got a multitude of texts during the broadcast of the game on Muskogeaathletics.com. Tell me what the 15-yard penalty was there when you had Midwest City kind of on the ropes, and then all of a sudden you get a penalty and it gave them a first down.
Well, we jump in and out of defenses, and we've started it since Coach Sexton got here. That was just one of his ways on his defenses. We just say jump, 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 and they move to where they're supposed to. Well, the ref, and I don't know how the official behind can hear that, but he said that our guys said go, 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 and we've never said go, go, go. It's always jump, jump, jump to get our guys to jump to their spots. And so they said we were simulating the step, and that's what got them to jump off sides. Well, later on, and I haven't had this ever happen in a game once, let alone then they turned around, you know, and we got it on them whenever we went for it then on the 4th and 1,
right,
because we was getting ready to punt, and their guy jumped up there and clapped, and they said that was an unsportsmanlike and gave them a 15-yarder as well. So it was called twice during the game, once on them, once on us. Never seen it before. Hopefully we'll never see it again. But then we went for it on our 4th down and didn't get it. But yeah, that was kind of strange, but that's what it was for. We called jump, 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 and our guys moved, and when our guys moved, it made them jump off sides, and so they said we were simulating the stamp. So that's what it was. I've had that asked a lot to me also.
Well, that was pretty much the only explanation I could come up with it at the time, so it's glad to have that all cleared up. Now, you talked about a sleepless night for you, and I know Coach Heath, being the intense guy that he is with the special teams, he didn't sleep much on Friday night either, but there were a lot of highlights in the ball game. So let's go to some of the video highlights of last week's ball game and take a look, and here's a good shot of the defense right off the bat.
I think this is right after we'd fumbled the punt, and we're down there, and our guys get them to 3rd and long, and we get a grasp in the face mask, and they still get another chance, and they score on the next. But I tell you, I was really proud of our defense overall, and our offense comes out. Here's Jimmy, a guy that'll be in our guest this week. He keeps getting better all the time, but I'll tell you, it's because those big linemen. Look at Big Wendell right there driving up through. And then Jimmy is, again, he's not the biggest guy in the world. He weighs about 165 pounds, but he drove 3 of their big linebackers back into the end zone. Defensively, again, another strong showing. But this is what I like to see as far as, you know, our running game, because it was non-existent last year. We'd throw for 400 yards a game, and that's great, and I love, everybody likes to see a long pass, but when you can drive the ball, churn clock, and get first downs, you're going to be a much, you know, running the ball and stopping the run is what, you know, great teams become, and that's how you win championships.
Nice throw to
That's
Connor
a
in the
good
end
fourth
zone.
down play right there. You know, we were 3 for 4 on fourth downs the other night. That one was just a big one that we didn't get late. Nice hit right there. It was a very physical ball game.
It was on both sides of the field.
You know, that was Marcus Newton. Marcus come up from his safety spot and does a great job. Here we are running the option. Ty's continuing to get better at the option. Our receivers are starting to do a better job out on the perimeter. Coach Dvorak had worked a lot with them last week about getting the blocking out there, because Midwest City's always got great safeties and corners and DBs, and so they did it much better. That was a big fourth down stop for us.
It was.
Colton come
crashed
through
from the
again.
end.
Colton had a great game. You know, Nakari Ruffin was the player of the game. I know that was the Buffalo Wild Wings player of the game was Nakari Ruffin, and there I believe is the last play of the game that we caused the fumble, but it was out of time.
Out of time. Give us another 3 or 4 minutes, and you never know what could have.
You never know.
And what should have happened. But when we come back, Coach talked about the improvement in the running game. And one of the guys that's one of those heroes every Friday night. He wears number 5, but he's number 1 in the hearts of the run game. Jimmy Coleman, he'll be our guest when we continue here on TV 15.
Our mobile apps are taking the country by storm, and none more than our fully customizable apps. Available in the App Store and Google Play, these apps are the home base for your school's athletic needs.
Welcome back on this section of Roughertv. And Coach, each and every week we get a chance to talk with one of the stars of the game. And certainly the first 2 weeks, the man between us has gained a lot of notoriety.
He has. Jimmy's done a great job. We knew we was getting something good with Jimmy. You know, he showed it last year in spurts until he got his collarbone broke in the Booker T game, and he had a great off season. He worked extra hard in the weight room, and we just thought he was going to be a great back, and so far he's doing that. You know, he had 187 yards week 1 and then 90 yards last week against an outstanding Midwest City defense.
Jimmy, let me ask you, how much faster do you feel like you are this year versus last year?
I feel like I improved a little. I got a little faster.
Got a little faster? Now, a little faster for you, though, Coach, is the difference between gaining 10 and taking it to the house. Would you agree?
It is. You know, in our summer pride when we timed it, what did you run, a 4.53 was your fastest?
Yes.
So his 4.53 is plenty fast for us. You know, it's, you know, everybody wants to throw around that 4.3 stuff now, but he's plenty fast at 4.53 for us. And the thing that I like about Jimmy is, you know, he doesn't look like the biggest guy in the world, but it goes back to that weight room. His leg strength, as you'll see in some of the highlights today, and as you saw in last week, his center of gravity is low, and he gets those shoulders square, and he can get up in the hole really well.
Jimmy, what enables a guy, because you're not the biggest guy out there, and you're running into some big old defensive linemen and linebackers that like to bring a pretty good punch. What's the key for you being able to get through that little bitty crease and get past for extra yardage?
Really to not get hit, because I like playing football, but I don't like getting hurt.
It's nice to have those offensive linemen up front blocking for you too, right?
Yes.
They do a pretty good job. And, Coach, that's a unique combination. And I know he's very short on words, but he's big on his actions. To have that combination with quickness and then the guys that are developing up front is a nice working.
It is.
program.
You know, our offensive line we've been really hard on over the last couple of years, and this year, you know, no returning starters, but they come in and they're getting better each week, and really, and we'll talk about it more, I'm sure, later. But the thing that I liked is that we've challenged them. We're going to go right at people, and with Jimmy working downhill between the tackles and then blocking like they are, our running game's getting a whole lot better, and it's going to continue to get better each week.
You like the running game, or you like when Ty can pitch the ball to you out there and flat and just let you turn on the wheels?
More the running game.
Running game?
Yes.
Why so?
Most of the time, the receivers don't really hold their blocks well, or they hold them and then they just let them go, like right when I get by them.
So, but that's when your speed comes to your advantage.
Yes.
All right. So you got big expectations for this year?
Yes.
What's your goal?
To get at least 20 touchdowns, 2,000 rushing yards.
There you go, Coach. You and I were talking with him before we brought him in the studio. He's got this nice little silver braid right up here. And Jimmy, we're going to just let you add one of those for every time you go over 100 yards rushing in a game.
Well, I hope that whole head is silver by the end of the year. To
We
have
might-
2,000 yards is going to have 20 of them.
We might have to trade those silver braids in for some gold braids. Would that be okay?
Yeah.
He doesn't talk a whole lot. Jimmy, let me ask you this: what's your favorite class at the high school? I mean, you got a favorite teacher you like? Just all of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. You can tell he doesn't speak a whole lot until he gets the ball in his hands, and then he goes to work, and he typically will take it for positive yardage, and many times he'll take it all the way to the goal line. Number 5, Jimmy Coleman. He's one of our star running backs in the running game for the Roughers. He's our guest this week with Coach Watkins and I. When we come back in a moment, we'll preview this week's game against the Patriots of Putnam City West. That after this timeout on Roughertv.
Our mobile apps are taking the country by storm, and none more than our fully customizable apps. Available in the App Store and Google Play, these apps are the home base for your school's athletic needs.
Welcome back on TV 15. BiIl Huddleston along with head coach Rafe Watkins. Okay, a real juggernaut last Friday night against Midwest City. Now you're going to, for the first time, take this group of pups and put them all on the bus, shuffle them over to Putnam City to take on PC West, who's still looking for win number 1.
They are. You know, they're a much improved team, I think, in the past. Last year they started making moves toward getting to be better. They got a new coach in over there. And Corey Russell, you know, people might have known him from Tulsa Central, Idabel, Okmulgee. So he's known in this area, but he's the head coach at Putnam City West now. They put in the flex bone and they got better. They put their kids in the positions. Putnam City West has always had great speed. You know, the kid that set the new state record last year in the 100 meters was from Putnam City, ran a 10.38, and so that's a new state record. And so I'm not sure that he's the one playing, but they've got 2 wings in that system that can fly. Their quarterback can run extremely well, and so it's a good system for them. But as you said, it's going to be our first time on the road, and looking forward to seeing how the kids respond. We got to see Putnam City West when we scrimmaged Edmond Memorial over at Sapulpa. They were there scrimmaging in Sapulpa, and while we were eating, we got to watch them a little bit, and again, they can run extremely well. Got some big linemen. They have one lineman that's got some Division I offers, and so they're going to be a good matchup for us. It's their homecoming, and so, you know, always when you have a homecoming, you think that you're probably going to win that game. So I know they think they've got the Roughers.
Exactly. Now this will be the final non-district matchup. What do you want a game? Because as we've talked all the time, it's preparation, weeks 1, weeks 2, and week 3. You hope to get 3 victories out of that, but what do you really want to take out of that going into the 7-week grind that'll be the district chase?
Well, like last week, you know, clean up on the penalties still. While we did do better last week, we still had too many, in my opinion. You know, anything, we want to shoot for the goal, and because you're going to have penalties in the course of the game. I mean, it's just going to happen. But
especially if you play with
we'd
aggression.
like to keep them between 25 to 30 yards. You can overcome that type of stuff. But the turnovers we want to continue to improve on. We did have the 1 interception last week, and then, of course, basically it was a turnover that cost us the safety. We fumbled and it fell in the end zone. We fell on top of it to keep them from getting a touchdown. But we take care of that. And then just execution. You know, that's the main thing. We're doing a pretty good job on defense. Last week we didn't get tested in the passing game with their quarterback being out. They had just decided they was going to do a ground and pound, and they did, you know, they did an all right job with it, but we gave them the short field on the first one. Other than that, they only had 1 drive. But this week, you know, for us offensively, we want to continue to work on our run game, our play action passes. You know, we're not going to be that team that's going to sit there and throw it 30 times a game. We're not going to be very good if we have to throw it 30 times a game. But our play action, our short passes, our screen game, you know, our slips, those are all things that we're looking for in our passing game, and then just continue to run the ball.
Well, the Roughers will be on the road Friday night, 7 o'clock at Putnam City. It's actually at Putnam City High School, even though the Roughers will be taking on the Patriots, which is one of 3 schools in the Putnam City district. Game time will be 7 o'clock. We will have live stream coverage for you. Our pregame show will begin. Our pregame show will begin at 6:30, and you can follow that action online at MuskogeeAthletics.com. Just follow the easy to click and join us live. Myself along with Nick Hampton, and we'll be looking forward to another Rougher win. For head coach Rafe Watkins and our guest of the week, Jimmy Coleman, I'm BiIl Huddleston, and as always, it's a great day to be a Rougher.